Hello everyone, thanks for watching Edupedia World videos. I am Neeti Saxena. This particular video would be covering the topic performance appraisal. Topics that would be covered would be concept, significance and process of performance appraisal, the different methods used for performance appraisal, and the errors that usually the evaluators make while performance appraisal exercise. Performance appraisal is a systematic way of reviewing and assessing the performance of an employee during a given period of time and planning for his future. So performance appraisal is basically analyzing and evaluating a person's performance that has happened in the past. This past performance could be for 6 months, could be for a year, depending from organization to organization. It involves 3 steps. First of all, setting work standards. Till the time the work standards are not set, you will not be able to evaluate in a proper manner. So the first thing that is very, very important is setting the standards and communicating the standards to the employees that this is what is expected from you. For example, if I just say that I want sales and good numbers. Now the sales and good numbers is a very vague sentence. Good numbers can be different for different people. So when you're setting standard and when you're setting a benchmark or a goal for the employees, it has to be very, very discreet. Like we want sales per month of maybe 1 lakh rupees or 10 lakh rupees, whatever. So the goals or the target that is being set should be quantifiable and it should be exact, and this should be communicated to the employees so that the employees know what is exactly expected out of them. Once the work standard is set and it is communicated to the employees would start working. After the span of time which has been mentioned in the standard, for example, work standard tells you that you have to do 1 lakh sales after a month, or maybe 10 in a quarterly sales, or 6 month sales, or 1 year sales performance you have to evaluate. So once the time passes by, then the performance of the employees are evaluated keeping in mind the standard performance which was expected out of them. So the work standard becomes the benchmark and the actual performance is then evaluated keeping in mind the desired performance. In case if the actual performance and the desired performance matches, that means the employee has done a good job. In case if he was not able to match the expected performance, that means there is some lacuna which is left, and then it needs to be corrected, as in how can the performance of that individual can be increased. So once the actual performance is measured, keeping in mind the standard performance, a feedback is given to the employee. So these are the 3 things that is done in performance appraisal. First is setting the standards. Second is evaluating the performance of the individual, keeping in mind the standard performance, and then communicating or giving a feedback to the employee. During performance appraisal, it is very, very important that a clear goal is set and the employee should be told that what is the goal. It lets employee know where they stand, because if you tell them the work standard which is expected from them, and when you tell them their actual performance, they'll be able to judge themselves. It also helps improve performance in future jobs and personal development, improvement by learning and growth. So your performance appraisal helps the individuals to evaluate themselves and they come to know where they actually stand so that they can improve their performance in the future too. During performance appraisal, the focus should be on past, present and future performance. Past performance is evaluated, and based on the past and present performance, future performance can be made better. The role of supervisor in performance appraisal is not only of an evaluator but also of a counselor and a guide. When the supervisor evaluates the performance of the subordinates, he gives a feedback to the subordinates, keeping in mind how his performance can be improved in the coming future. So when he is counseling the employees also get motivated, are guided as to how they can increase their performance. Role of employee is also very, very important in the performance appraisal exercise, because till the time the employee is not actively involved or is not ready to take feedback in a positive manner, the performance of the individual cannot be increased or improved in the future times. So active involvement, justify or defend position, all these things are very, very important. the employee should be given an opportunity to justify or to defend why his performance was not apt. Just in case if it is found that there was certain logical reason behind it, maybe the employee was off duties because of his ill health or whatever, then of course that parameter should be kept in mind why his performance went down. But just in case if there is no such reason behind his lack of performance, then of course the management should look into it, that is he demotivated, or is he not comfortable working in that team, or maybe he lacks certain skill sets, and then accordingly remedial measures should be taken to increase his performance. So we can finally say that the objectives of performance appraisal is, first, to review the performance of the employees over a given period of time, to judge the gap between the actual and the desired performance. As I said, that the standard performance is set and the actual performance is then evaluated keeping in mind the desired performance. So you actually find out the gap between the desired and the actual performance. To help the management in exercising organization control, because when you are doing a performance appraisal exercise, you are able to keep a check on the employees, whether they are performing well or not. It helps to strengthen the relationship and communication between superior subordinates and management employees. Because when the superior does the performance appraisal exercise and then gives a feedback to the employees, the supervisor is not only just behaving like an evaluator, but is also behaving like a guide and a mentor. So, and a counselor too. So that it helps increasing the bond between the supervisor and the subordinates. To diagnose the strength and weakness of the individual so as to identify the training and development needs for the future. As I said, in case if there is no such particular reason of employee not behaving, not performing well, it could be a reason that the employee lacks certain skill sets for his job. So then in case if he is lacking certain skill set, that becomes the training need. In my other video in which I had covered the training and development, I have clearly mentioned that the first step of developing a training module is to identify that what is the training need. So that training need is identified or can be identified through the performance appraisal exercise, because through the performance appraisal exercise you come to know which employee is performing well, which employee is not performing well. If an employee is not performing well, it could be a reason that he is lacking on certain skill sets. Sixth is to provide feedback to the employees regarding their past performance. So this is a major objective of performance appraisal exercise, which tells the employees where they stand, how their performance have been in the past, and so that they can improve their performance in the future. Provide information to assist in other personal decisions in the organization. Other personnel decisions in the organization could be promotion, could be transfer, could be demotion, could be job rotation. In case if the organization is planning to take up a new project, through performance appraisal exercise, you can actually identify those people who can head the senior positions in the coming future. It provides clarity of the expectations and responsibilities of the duties to be performed by the employees. Why? Because you set standards and you communicate the standards to the employees. So they come to know what are the duties they have to perform. To judge the effectiveness of other human resource functions of the organization, such as recruitment, selection, training, and development. What happens is that in case if your employee is performing well, that means your recruitment, selection, training, and development was absolutely apt. Just in case if the employee is not performing well, that means there was certain lacuna in your recruitment, selection, or training procedure. Maybe the recruitment selection was not correct and you hired a wrong person. Maybe you hired the right person, but you did not impart right training or right orientation to that person. That is the reason he is lacking in the performance. So these could be possible reasons. To reduce the grievances of the employees, when you do a performance appraisal exercise, the employees come to know where they stand and where the other employees of the organization stand. If the performance appraisal exercise is not biased, then of course the employees will never be demotivated and will never feel that wrong decisions were taken in the organization. So it helps in minimizing the grievances of the employees. So in short, performance appraisal is a powerful tool to regulate, refine, and reward the performance of the employees. Three words: regulating, that is monitoring, refining, improving, and rewarding the performance of the employees. It helps to analyze his achievements and evaluate his contribution towards the achievement of the overall organization goals. Through performance appraisal exercise, you come to know which employee is putting in more efforts and which employee is coming out with better results. By focusing the attention on performance, performance appraisal goes to the heart of personnel management and reflects the management's interest in the progress of the employees. When we talk about personnel management, it is improving or managing the performance of employees in the organization. So when the organization is putting in efforts to make the performance appraisal exercise unbiased, the employees also feel motivated and they feel that yes, in case if you perform well, you definitely would be rewarded in this organization. So their motivation level goes high.